Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland, this is ABC-7 at 5.
I'm hoping for the maximum, of course. I'm just hoping that he can never do this to anybody else ever again. And I'm hoping that this raises awareness. Of course, it's nothing less of catastrophic for us.
ABC-7's New Mexico mobile newsroom was in the courtroom for stunning new developments. Peter Dylan Lucero, the man accused of raping a nursing home resident, accepted responsibility for his actions this morning. New information out of Las Cruces in just a few minutes.
Good afternoon, I'm Rick Cabrera, and thank you for joining us for ABC-7 at 5.
And I'm Estela Casas. We'll get to that story in a bit. But first, our complete coverage of Pope Francis's historic visit to the borderline continues on ABC-7 at 5. Today, a heads up for El Pasoans planning to attend the papal mass in Juarez next week.
The director of the Juarez Traffic Police is urging El Pasoans not to take the Bridge of the Americas into Juarez on the 17th. He's talking about the Free Bridge, or the Puente Libre, near the Chamizal. It won't be closed to traffic, but it will be a nightmare, with the backup expected to extend all the way into South El Paso. Juarez police also expect the bridge to be filled with people trying to walk across the border.
Juarez police recommend you take the Stanton Street Bridge downtown into Juarez, especially if your tickets are near the site of the Mass. Remember, no parking will be allowed within 5 blocks of the papal Mass area. If you plan to be a part of the human chain farther south, then you are asked to cross into Juarez at the Zaragoza port of entry. Today, an ABC-7 crew stopped by the site of the papal Mass to get an update on progress. You can see workers are already painting that majestic Swiss-designed pavilion. We also noticed the 3 huge rocks that will be used to support the Pope's altar have been moved into place. Officials say each one of those stones weighs about 3 tons.
This is all new video on ABC-7 at 5. As work on the pavilion continues, workers are laying asphalt and building a ramp right next to the levee road along the border. We asked the workers what they were doing, and they told us, get this, the Pope Mobile is going to drive up the ramp so that the Pope can get a closer look at El Paso and some of the faithful that make it near the border highway. The workers and a crew with Televisa told us the Pope is expected to get out of the Pope Mobile to wave to the people across the river.
And this is also new video just into the ABC-7 newsroom. Our crew in Juarez today spotted a woman selling Pope-related merchandise. Everything from T-shirts to hats, rosaries, and candles. There's also a bundle that includes a T-shirt, 2 bracelets, and a backpack. We asked the woman if people are buying the merchandise.
Pues ahorita por lo pronto estamos lentas, pero
right now sales are very slow, but we're hoping God helps us so sales can improve as more and more visitors arrive in Juarez.
Herrera says proceeds from the sale of Pope Francis-related merchandise will benefit the Catholic Diocese of Juarez. Some of the money raised will also help pay for some expenses related to the pontiff's visit.
Terrifying moments for a community in El Paso's Lower Valley. We first told you about it during ABC-7 at noon. A construction crane collapsed in the Isleta area near the Speaking Rock Entertainment Center. This is not too far away from the Zaragoza port of entry. ABC-7's Jerry Nakara joins us live. Jerry?
Rick, Estela, it's been about 5 hours since the crane tipped over. They got it up right now, but I want you to take a look behind me. There's still about a dozen or so crew members working to clean up the scene. They're breaking up that concrete wall that fell along with the crane earlier. Management at Speaking Rock Entertainment Center is telling me this happened at around 11:30 today. The 80-ton crane was putting up massive concrete walls for a Speaking Rock expansion project. The weight of that concrete wall caused the crane to tip over. There was an operator in that crane at the time. They tell me he's doing fine at the moment. We also know El Paso Electric had to come out here and cut the power in the area to keep the workers safe. The road, Socorro Road, was closed earlier. It's open back up to traffic now. Power has been restored in the area. And Speaking Rock is business as usual. Rick, Estela?
Okay, Jerry, thank you for the very latest. El Paso police arrest a fellow city employee in connection with a deadly beating. 37-year-old Raul Ruiz and 42-year-old Adrian Chavez are charged with manslaughter for the death of 49-year-old Arturo Martinez. Police say the 3 men got into a fight outside the El Patron bar near Montana and Paisano this past Friday. Ruiz, a firefighter, was off duty at the time. Police say Ruiz pushed the victim to the ground, and the victim fell and hit his head on the ground. Ruiz and Chavez allegedly continued to beat the victim while he was on the floor. The man later died. Bonds for both men are set at $75,000.
Rick, it was the first time the courtroom saw emotion from 25-year-old Peter Dylan Lucero. He pleaded guilty today to false imprisonment and second-degree criminal sexual penetration of a 50-year-old nursing home resident. From our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, Lucero put his head in his hands after entering his plea, which surprised the courtroom just moments before the victim was to take the stand. Before today's change of plea, Lucero had told detectives the victim, who suffers from multiple sclerosis and is wheelchair-bound, came on to him while he was visiting his grandfather at the Good Samaritan Society Center, and he agreed to have sex with her. Today, he admitted to raping her. The change of plea means instead of 27 years, Lucero only faces 9.
So that is a 2/3 reduction from where we started the case. So we felt it was in his best interest, and he felt that it was in his best interest to enter a plea of guilty.
I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. It's been a rough battle. It's been very emotional. It's been hard to get through all this for both of us.
Before being taken away in handcuffs, Lucero asked the judge for permission to say goodbye to his mother. They embraced, kissed, and Lucero was taken away. Before his sentencing, Lucero will undergo a 60-day psychiatric evaluation in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
A message of optimism in Sunland Park today. Mayor KVIA delivered his State of the City address, saying there's been a major turnaround in the city under his guidance.
Financially, you are probably one of the best cities in New Mexico.
Padilla says there's been major improvements when it comes to capital spending, park renovation, and public safety. Looking ahead, he wants the city to build more public sidewalks, and while Padilla says he's worked hard to restore the city's reputation, his challenger in the upcoming mayoral race sees things differently.
There's a serious lack of community involvement, of resident involvement, and again, I think that going back to the city website might help with that, and just better organization within our meetings, keeping our residents better informed.
The Sunland Park mayoral elections are set for March. 5 more positive tests at Sunland Park Racetrack for the equine herpes virus, bringing the number of infected horses to 56, 9 of them euthanized. The return of live racing remains as far into the future as when the crisis was first discovered. ABC-7's Darren Hunt is live with new information gathered by our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom. Darren?
Rick, we're still awaiting word on whether any more positives were found today. There must be a period of 14 consecutive days without one to return to racing safely, meaning the earliest Sunland could return to racing would now be February 23rd. And that means since the track was shut down on January 22nd, immediately after a horse carrying the EHV1 virus was found, that Sunland Park will go at least a full month total without hosting any live racing on its track. Meanwhile, Turf Paradise in Phoenix, which continued racing after it received a shipment of 3 horses from Sunland before it was shut down, has indicated it has no additional positive tests that could lift its own quarantine by February 18th. In addition to several other tracks, however, Delta Downs in Louisiana has banned horses now from New Mexico and Arizona joining other tracks. Despite the continued spread of the virus at Sunland Park, racetrack officials told us they see some positive signs in that some horses have left quarantine and returned to their own barns this week.
Unfortunately, it's not slowing down as everybody would like. We wanted it to be done 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, that wasn't the way things worked out. So, again, we've got a lot of people here working hard to make sure everybody's safe. And, again, the fact that horses are coming out of isolation is something that we're going to hang our hat on right now, and hopefully we'll continue to work that direction.
Now, the racing community is not only looking at that 14-day counter to lift the quarantine, but looking ahead to the upcoming big stakes races at Sunland, like the Sunland Oaks and Derby. Coming up tonight at 10, you'll hear from a concerned trainer at Sunland about the continued spread of the virus and the effect it may have on trainers considering bringing their horses here for stakes races next month. Rick?
All right, looking for some improvement. Thank you very much, Darren. To storm track weather now, we enjoyed another beautiful day in El Paso and the borderland. it doesn't even feel like winter. Chief Meteorologist Doppler Dave Spillman has your first forecast. Doppler?
Yeah, and it's still nice out there. We're looking at mainly clear skies across the entire region. Here's a look at your temperatures. We have 64 in Las Cruces, Deming at 66, 65 up at Truth or Consequences, 63 in Alamogordo. You can see 57 up in elevation at Ruidoso. And again, we are at 66 degrees. Here's a look at your ABC-7 Storm Track WeatherNet sites. Tornado Middle School, 62 over there. We have 65 over at Putnam. War Eagles Air Museum. Right now, they are at 62 degrees out in Santa Teresa. Now, coming up, we're going to have a pleasant night tonight. Temperatures a little chilly by tomorrow morning, but a warmer day in store. And we'll talk about your Saturday and Sunday in detail coming up.
Sounds good, Doppler. Thank you. The drama in Doña Ana County continues.
The conflict between the sheriff and the county manager is dividing the county government. Today, we learned it's taken another turn for the worst.
And they both came out on the losing side last week despite rallying legions of supporters. Tonight, Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders are looking to score their first win in the race for the presidency.